Good day, friends, and welcome back to Conflicts of the Human Race. Today, I will tell you about the entire story of the Italian Wars, 1494–1559. Now buckle up as we begin. In the glittering courts of Renaissance Italy, city-states like Florence, Milan, Venice, and Naples vied for power under the watchful eyes of France and Spain. King Charles VIII of France, a young monarch obsessed with crusading glory, saw his chance in 1494. Through his ancestor Louis I of Anjou's claim, he eyed the Kingdom of Naples. With Pope Alexander VI's tacit approval and Venice's neutrality, Charles assembled a modern army of 25,000 infantry, 8,000 cavalry, and crucially, 40 bombards and 140 lighter cannons, the largest artillery train ever seen. From Grenoble, amid the crisp autumn air of the Dauphiné Alps, his forces marched towards the passes. Swiss mercenaries and Gascon crossbowmen swelled the ranks, their banners fluttering in the mountain winds. Ludovico Sforza, regent of Milan, initially welcomed the French to counter Naples, but fear grew as Charles' juggernaut approached. Italy's condottieri armies, elegant but outdated, faced an unprecedented threat. The stage was set for invasion as Charles crossed into Piedmont, capturing Asti without resistance. The Italian Wars had begun, a conflagration that would consume the peninsula for over half a century, reshaping Europe. Charles VII's army thundered into Piedmont, taking Ivrea swiftly on October 27, 1494. Ludovico Sforza, Duke of Milan, switched sides but couldn't halt the French advance. Pavia surrendered without a fight, its duke awed by the artillery park. Florence, under Savonarola's influence, opened its gates after Piero de' Medici's failed resistance at the passes. Charles entered the city in November, hailed as a liberator. The march south continued, past Siena and into papal territory. At Forli, the fierce Caterina Sforza defended valiantly against French assaults. Her husband was killed, but she rode to rally troops, famously lifting her skirts to show she had the balls to fight. French guns battered the walls, and by mid-December, Forli fell. Charles pressed on to Rome, where Pope Alexander VI greeted him warily. No battle here. Charles was guest, not conqueror. Then south to Naples. King Alfonso II fled in terror, his son Ferrandino to Sicily. Naples welcomed Charles in February 1495 as King of Jerusalem and Naples. But hubris grew. Charles dreamed of Constantinople. Meanwhile, Europe awoke to the threat. Spain's Ferdinand and Aragon, Venice, Milan, and the Pope formed the League of Venice to expel the French. Charles, overstretched, prepared retreat north. February 1495 saw Charles VII crowned in Naples amid cheers, but reality bit. Disease ravaged his army, supplies dwindled. News of the League of Venice, Pope, Venice, Milan, Spain, Empire marching north forced decision. Charles appointed Gilbert de Montpensier viceroy and raced back with 10,000 picked men. The return march was a gauntlet. On July 6, 1495, near Fornovo in the Apennines, disaster struck. Italian League forces under Francesco II Gonzaga outnumbered the French 25,000 to 9,000. Rain-slicked ground, narrow valley. French vanguard clashed with League rearguard as Charles crossed the Enza River. Pandemonium. Milanese men-at-arms charged. Venetian stradiates harried flanks. Charles' artillery bogged down, useless. Swiss pikemen formed unbreakable squares. Gascons loosed crossbow bolts. Blood soaked the mud. Gonzaga unhorsed thrice. French broke through, but at huge cost. Perhaps 3,000 dead versus League's 2,000. Charles escaped to France, leaving Naples to crumble. Montpensier held briefly, but Spanish forces under Consalvo de Cordoba arrived. By summer 1496, French expelled from Italy. Charles died in 1498 from a door accident, but his folly opened Pandora's box. Charles' death paved way for Louis XII, who claimed Milan via his grandmother Valentina Visconti. In 1499, Louis invaded with 30,000. Capturing Milan easily, Ludovico fled to Germany. Swiss helped take Como. South, Naples' Federico surrendered to French arms, but Louis shared spoils with Ferdinand of Spain via treaty, France Milan/Lombardy, Spain Naples. Tensions brewed. Consalvo de Cordoba, great captain, landed in Calabria 1501. Guerrilla war ensued. French under Uffraducci and La Tremel struggled against Spanish light troops and locals. By 1502, open war. Battle of Cerignola, April 28, 1503. Consalvo entrenched behind ditch and earthworks with 65-0 Spaniards, Italians, Swiss. French 17,000 charged arquebus volleys shredded knights. First modern battle won by infantry/firearms. La Tremel wounded, army routed. Then Garigliano River, December 1503. French crossed frozen stream at night, but Spanish pikes and guns held. Floods aided defense. French retreat shattered. Louis' Italian dream collapsed. Spain took Naples, crowning Frederick briefly, then annexing. Louis focused on Genoa, Venice. Spain triumphant in south, but north saw shifts. Louis XII allied with Pope Julius II against Venice. 1508, League of Cambrai. France, Pope, Spain, Empire versus Venice. Battle of Agnedolo, May 14, 1509. French under Louis de la Tremel smashed Venetian cavalry at Gedi. 10,000 Venetians dead or drowned in Udder River. Venice humbled, lost all terra firma. But Julius II turned on Louis, forming Holy League 1511 with Spain, Venice, England, Empire. French faced coalition. Gaston de Foix, Duke of Nemours, led brilliant campaign. Ravaged Romagna, took Brescia, storming walls heroically. He died in the breach. Climax at Ravenna, April 11, 1512. French 25,000 versus Spanish/Imperial 20,000. Gaston flanked, crushed center. Spanish tercios broke, but French-Swiss mutinied post-victory. Gaston slain earlier. French commanders Bayard, Imbolc captured. Strategic French win, but Pyrrhic. Post-Ravenna, France teetered. Swiss invaded via Alps, crushed French at Novara. June 1513, 5,000 French dead. Louis XII died 1515, succeeded by Francis I, dashing young king. Francis invaded with 50,000, including new Landsknechts. Battle of Marignano, September 13-14, 1515. Near Milan, 20,000 French versus 20,000 Swiss pikemen. Night assault after Milan fell. Swiss charged in columns, pikes 18 ft long clashing. Francis artillery and cavalry flanked. Bayard dubbed Night Sands pure held dike. 2 days carnage, 10,000 Swiss dead. Francis entered Milan triumphant. Peace of Fribourg ended Swiss-French wars. Venice allied with France, but Habsburgs rose. Maximilian I, then Charles V 1519 Charles elected emperor. 1590-1000, 521 Franco-Habsburg rivalry boiled. Charles V controlled Spain, Netherlands, HRE. Francis Milan ambitions. War 1521. Imperial forces under Prospero Colonna invaded Lombardy. French under Lautrec defended. Battle of Bicocca, April 1522. Spanish tercios in fieldworks shredded French-Swiss, assault 35-0 dead. Lautrec retreated. Francis invaded 1523 with Audit de Foix. Won at Susa, but Foix died. 1524 French retook Pavia. No, besieged Pavia. Winter 1524-2530, 0 French versus garrison. Pavia siege dragged. Georg von Frundsberg led Landsknechts to relieve. February 24, 1525, Battle of Pavia. Foggy dawn, French 28,000 versus Imperials 23,000. Francis sought decisive battle. Spanish tercios under Pescara flanked, Landsknechts smashed center. French artillery captured, cavalry routed. Francis fought personally, wounded, captured with 10,000 dead/incapacitated. All is lost save honor, he wrote. France sued for peace, ceded Burgundy claims, Milan, but released 1526. Francis freed 1526, reneged treaty, allied Pope Clement VII Venice, Florence, Milan versus Charles. League of Cognac. But Charles unleashed Lannes, Orange. Bourbon defected to empire. 1527, army 34,000 unpaid mutinied. March on Rome. Bourbon killed scaling walls May 6. Sack of Rome. Landsknechts, Spaniards rampaged 8 days. Pope fled Castel Sant'Angelo. 12,000 civilians dead. Art looted. Raphael's works gone. Michelangelo witnessed horror. France intervened half-heartedly. 1528, Lautrec besieged Naples, but plague/typhus killed army including Lautrec. French remnants surrendered. Charles dominant in Italy. Francis truce till 1536. Then war anew. Francis allied Ottomans, invaded Savoy. Battle of 1537, mostly sieges. 1540s. Schmalkaldic distractions. 1542 war. French guys took Luxembourg. But Italy quiet till 1543 Cerignola. French win Pyrrhic. Charles V personally intervened 1536, sacked Rome briefly. No, French allied Suleiman, Barbarossa raided coasts. 1544, Battle of Cerignola, May 11. French Monferrato under Count d'Enghien beat Imperial Spanish under Alvarez, but no pursuit. Charles made peace alone with France. Paul III mediated. 1540s lull, but 1551 war. France under Henry II invaded. Saint Failure took Metz 1552, but Italy. Duke Cosimo Medici allied Spain, beat French at Marciano 1554. Siena allied France, besieged. Henry II allied Pope Paul IV versus Philip II, Charles' son. French Montluc defended. Battle of St. Quentin 1557 north, but Italy. Spanish under Duke Alba took Ostia. 1556 Paul IV excommunicated Philip. French guys invaded Papal States, but Alba counterattacked. Gravelines 1558 naval. Italy devastated. Henry II died jousting 1559. Weak France sued peace. Cateau-Cambrésis April 1559. France kept Metz, Calais later. Spain got Milan. No, Savoy restructured. Philip married Medici daughter for Tuscany claims. France got some Piedmont. Italian wars ended, Spain supreme. Reflecting mid-war, Sachs' legacy, Michelangelo's fear. Cultural devastation. Libraries burned, artists fled. Condottieri obsolete, Tercio's model. Charles V abdication 1556 shifted to Philip. Ottoman alliance French key but ineffective. Henry II tournament death. Lance Splinter killed. Aftermath. Italy fragmented. Spanish viceroys. Cultural renaissance amid ruins. The Italian wars transformed warfare gunpowder. Standing armies. Professional infantry triumphed over knights. Italy paid price. Economies ruined. Population halved in places. Art protected barely. France and Habsburgs exhausted. Paving Protestant Reformation wars. Habsburgs won Italy but lost north. Epic struggle defined 16th century. If you liked today's story, make sure to check out our other videos on our channel. Have a nice day.